First of all, to express my special thanks also to the WCC for this initiative, and of course for the people who are here today with us, although they have so many other important things, they are here with us. So let's unite our prayers that we are going to see visible changes in our activities. And I like the topic we have here. I think it's a message now not to use the title climate change, but climate crisis. So it's better to find ways how now to change even the conversion, not to call this framework of climate change, but climate crisis. And this is the contribution, I think, of the faith communities, because if there are people who claim that they are about 1 billion who are atheists, there are 6 billion who claim that they belong in one of our faiths. And so we have to get their voice, be strong. And we realize here in Doha and during the previous COPs the need for stronger international law, means of implementation, how taking individual responsibility for a higher common interest. And we're talking about our congregations. And of course, how also somebody from a local faith community to be a global citizen. We're talking about the body of the humanity. And then, of course, in relation how to have access to information and information sharing. Because if we fail to guide properly our congregations, how can they come out to help and to express their views through a sort of moral pressure to our leaders to protect the body of the humanity? And then, of course, we have to find ways how the faith communities are to have a sort of timeline for our international roadmap. We cannot postpone everything. We have to act now, not to say in the future, in the future, in the future. We cannot wait until 2020 for the full participation of the parties. But let me first of all emphasize that most religions and their sacred texts, as the previous speaker emphasized, uphold the need to care for the creation. And of course also SAFC is encouraging churches and religions in general to recognize that caring for the environment is integral to their responsibilities to God. Many environmental organizations are now responding with gratitude that the faiths may now be recognizing that they have a God-given mandate to care for the environment. And what do we mean by interfaith? SAFC has always described itself, let's say, as multi-faith rather than interfaith. We do not exist to promote interfaith as such, but to bring together all the religions to recognize their responsibility to cherish living earth, so that we are an institute of many faiths united in our diversity by our common commitment to earth keeping. Our aim is to support the faith communities in fulfilling their environmental and socio-economic responsibility. We do not seek to bring about a theological synthesis, but responding to our own sacred texts and traditions. We deepen our understanding of the need to care for the environment, recognizing that we are called to do so from our sacred texts. This does not threaten our own faith, but deepens our commitment to our own faith. And at the same time, we increasingly realize that all religions have far more in common than that which divides them. The environmental threat is now so great, we believe that all religions should come together to confront this greatest crisis that has ever confronted humanity. I'm going also to mention something from the statement of the World Council of Churches in this COP. Our start is not to formulate policies at the ask of the parties, but to demand urgent and achievable policies, bringing to the parties our concern about the essential values and principles and the suffering voice of actors that are not normally heard. I come now to some Christian perspectives, and of course, Reverend, the chairman, Reverend William, introduced us already just before to see the video. Care for creation and justice are at the center of the WCC work on climate change, as Father Williams mentioned. The Bible teaches the wholeness of creation and calls human beings to take care of the Garden of Eden in the book of Genesis. The God of the Bible is a God of justice who protects, loves, and cares for the most vulnerable among his creatures. And of course, we have these special dates from 1st of September to 4th of October as a time for creation. The Christians share in the sensitivity and concern of those that are anxious about the increase in pollution of the natural environment due to human factors. The Church considers this as a sin and calls all human beings to repent. There is a tendency to seek out a new ethic to protect the body of the humanity and the whole creation of God. But the whole situation, we have to blame ourselves as Christians, since we are 2 billion of the whole population of the world. As Christians, we cooperate, of course, in all healthy initiatives that aim at work towards solution of the ecological problem, and especially what we call as climate crisis. So our message of this meeting is to see how to use not the terms climate change, but climate crisis, because it's a crisis. It's better to use names to describe the things, and this is the beginning for the right also therapy after the diagnosis. Humans, as the crown of God's creation, have a special place on our planet. Humans are invited by God to continue the ministry of creation, and at the same time to look after it, taking care of it, and to push of its advancements to whatever protected as far as its survival is concerned. In order to respect God's creation, we must naturally become conscious of the fact that everything in the world belongs to God who created it. We are not the owners of the creation of God, but His ministers as administrators of it to protect the whole creation and share its things. If we carry on living in the way we live today, the scientific people, they say that at the end of this century, the waters of the sea are coming up nearly 1 meter. So the people we saw on the video, they are right. The waters of the sea, they are going to cover this beautiful creation of God given to us. So there is a sort of disobedience. And I'm going to complete, because my time, I have 2 minutes. I'm going to finish in 1 minute. I'm going to read something, I like it. It's from one message of our ecumenical patriarch Bartholomeus, who is involved during the last years on this sensitive issue, and like His Holiness Pope Benedict and the other Christian leaders. Everything that, like the Archbishop of Canterbury, everything that lives and breathes in sacred and beautiful in the eyes of God, the whole world is a sacrament. The entire created cosmos is a burning push of God's uncreated energies. and humankind stands as a priest before the altar of creation, as microcosm and meditator. Such is the true nature of things, or as an Orthodox hymn describes it, the truth of things if only we have the eyes of faith to see it. Thank you.